welcome to the Point in Progress podcast, episode 39, your one-stop shop for news, recommendations, and some spicy takes. Join 5 friends across 3 time zones and 2 countries every week as we discuss all things we love while still thinking critically about them. I almost got that perfect.
The entire thing.
Almost. The entire time except for that one point. I am your host this week. You know what? Thanks, Mario. I appreciate that support. I am your host this week, Fee. I almost said Harv, but I did not. It is Fee because I saw you moving on the side, like the corner of my eye, doing something, and I'm like, oh my god, I am about to just like go cut too, but no. I hope everybody
stay still. Everybody stay still.
Everybody stay still. I hope everyone has been having a great week. I know we've already started straight into chaos, but yeah, we'll just see who's here this evening. We'll start off. Mario, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. Good, going through and doing some work with some fine folks, specifically Harv here. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw his last TikTok that he posted. I helped make that. Really funny stuff. So having a blast doing work like that.
I burned everybody alive.
That's right. That's right. Immediately I was like, okay, how am I going to work Adam Sandler in this? Perfect.
Wow.
So very, very much doing little projects like that and all the little TikToks that we've been doing for sure.
Okay. And the team killer himself, Harv, how are you doing today?
I've won that game. That's all that matters. I killed the team, but we won the game at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Perfect.
It was an accident. It was all an accident.
Summit 1G'd your whole fucking team.
Oh, dude. It was brutal because they were in a box, so they had no way to escape.
No,
they're on fire. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. It's been a long week. I am all sorts of out of my mind, right? I don't know what's going on really. So
a little bit more than usual.
Love it when that happens.
Yeah, a little bit more than usual. Usually I'm like I'm good, but today I'm just kind of like, whoa.
Man, I'm the chaotic one that's messaging you saying like, I don't know what's happening. And then you're just like, everything will be okay. And then today you messaged me and I'm like, radio silent because I had to get ready for the podcast.
This is a relationship we have right here.
Whoops. It was a mistake. It was a mistake, guys. All right. And Sly, how are you doing today?
I have spent the last week or two being just so overwhelmed by the idea of things needing to be done well. And today I said, fuck it, and have decided to become an agent of chaos. So those are the vibes for tonight. I'm halfway through redoing my hair, of course. So we get blonde this week. It's a look. And yeah, I'm just embracing the chaos.
Sounds chaotic, but great. And Frank, how are you doing this evening?
I mixed cherry and blueberry Kool-Aid into a bottle, and I've been drinking that. And it's pretty fucking good, actually.
That sounds good.
All right.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Apparently, we have more than one agent of chaos on the podcast this evening.
What's wrong? Cherry and blueberry Kool-Aid actually go pretty well. You know, it comes out purple.
Dude, I haven't had Kool-Aid in years.
Yeah.
Go get some Kool-Aid.
Hear me out.
Pretty good.
Hear me out. So the Kool-Aid man is red, right? Is there a blue lady, Kool-Aid lady?
Well, I think on each label of Kool-Aid, there's like a different color of Kool-Aid man.
Is there? I didn't know.
I think Kool-Aid man's only the color he represents that day. You know.
I mean, I guess it's just like the
Valid.
liquid inside of him is the thing that changes. It's not like it's a different colored glass or something. It's just anyway. Kool-Aid aside, we'll get into some
kisses of Kool-Aid.
Need some Kool-Aid man lore. Can we get a Kool-Aid man TV show? How have we not had that yet?
I mean, tell me about it.
Kool-Aid people are
Oh my
there.
goodness.
Is it like M&Ms where they're just different?
Can't keep one sexy though.
No.
Can't do it.
No, we could get a sexy Kool-Aid man.
There is one Kool-Aid person, and he's on every we'll just call it an it right now for now. But it's on every single package as the red Kool-Aid.
Is it out red? I could swear it's blue on mine, but I don't feel like going to go grab it to
So
verify.
the packaging is blue. The Kool-Aid dude is red though.
I'll check later. we'll see.
Okay.
Right.
Well, on to some other cool topics. We'll get right into the checkpoint. With some housekeeping. If you guys aren't aware, we are on TikTok, and Mario has been creating some absolutely fantastic TikToks recently. So please make sure to check us out over on TikTok at Point in Progress. And you can also check out our YouTube for people who are currently watching us on Twitch, or if you're listening to us on anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can check out the live feed and watch this pure chaos unroll over on our YouTube channel. So please make sure to check us out at youtube.com/pointinprogress. And we're currently live here at twitch.tv/pointinprogress. So please make sure to follow us here. But the biggest thing is we are currently 11 followers or subscribers away on our YouTube. So please make sure to click that subscribe button.
For the big 200.
For the big 200 for our 2-year anniversary. So we want to get that goal before next
1 year anniversry.
1 year anniversary. I mean, we're going into year 2. We're going into year 2.
Yeah. We're spearheading into year 2 feeling like it's been 2 years.
I mean, yeah, why not?
It's been such a long time.
I mean,
kept you waiting, huh?
I don't know. I still think it's 2019, so I'm having a hard time, guys.
Oh God, that's when we came up with the show. Holy God.
No, we came up with the show in 2020.
Oh no, even a year later.
Yeah, it was 2020. Yeah, it was August 2020, my dude.
We started talking about it in like November of that year, of the year before that.
Yeah, time flies, guys. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about what we've been playing / watching this week. What we're gonna do, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna talk about kind of like collectively what some of us have been watching or playing, and then we'll kind of go into our individual branches. So this week, starting off, because I'm the host this week, so I get to choose, and we're starting off with Final Fantasy XIV. The three of us,
shocker,
Frank, Harv, and I have been playing Final Fantasy XIV, and we even got to do some great things this week. Such as doing some raids, finally finished the boss that we've been working on for the past 2 weeks.
It's 3.
Fuck you, Eric Tony.
Yeah, fuck Eric Tony.
Yeah, you know
Eric
what?
Thanos, as I like to call him.
Eric Tony, dude.
Yeah.
This guy was rough.
We did our first Savage.
Yeah.
Our first Savage clear.
Can you for the normies here, the Normans? Can you explain what that is? I'm just curious.
It's harder than a normal raid. Because it's a remixed, and you have to actually be on your toes and be good at your classes in order to actually get through it.
Gotcha.
Basically.
So it's just pretty much, it's content that they add later, and it's like you have to have a pre-made party, so you can't go in there just like willy-nilly. So you have to have 8 people that you know, or that is in a party with you, jump into it, and they just require much more coordination. And with 8 people, if a couple people kind of screw up, you kind of mess up the entire thing. You have to start over again. Gotcha. But like it's not like a 30-minute thing. It's like it's like max a 10-minute encounter. So like if you screw up within the 10 minutes, you start over from the 0 mark, and then you go back up, and then you just kind of keep doing that over and over. The thing about these fights, they're pretty much puzzles. Once you figure out the puzzle, you can finish it pretty quickly. But the biggest thing is figuring out the puzzle and trying to do it consistently.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Every run.
And doing damage as your classes and stuff.
Yeah, and you have to rely on 7 other people to be able to also complete the puzzle. Because if multiple people mess up or one person messes up, there's definitely a higher chance that you have to completely start from the beginning. So it is definitely an interesting time. But yeah, that's essentially what we've been doing with Final Fantasy XIV. Also, random side note that I didn't talk about in the checkpoint is we are going to be coming back with Fantasy in Progress. We recorded a really exciting episode with Gino this week, and we're going to be releasing that next week, or when you're listening to this podcast this week. Because I
don't know how the schedule works, because time.
Yeah, because our Shadowbringers one is coming out this weekend because your girl needs to finish up a thumbnail, and then we'll have the next one on the usual Friday release. So that'll be exciting. So make sure to check that out if you've played Endwalker. If you haven't played Endwalker, if you want spoilers, you can listen to the podcast. It's a lot of fun. Also, next up, Mario and Frank have been playing Rainbow Six Extraction. How has that been going, guys?
I'm gonna let Mario take the lead on this really quick because I think I have a very different reaction to this game than most people.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Basically, Rainbow Six, if you don't know, has been a long Tom Clancy series. Originally was a book, became a game series, and then recently there was Rainbow Six Siege, which was sort of a reboot of the entire thing, and it's really based on similar ideology of certain games like Overwatch, I would say, like hero shooters were, but it takes that concept but makes it into this very strategical, like cat and mouse, like heist kind of thing, where there are good operators and there are bad operators, and it's basically you are trying to save the hostages and stuff like that, but you're fighting opposing teams, right? They take that concept for that game, and then they put aliens and monsters in it. It's basically how to describe this game. And me and Frank got to play. We first played with a random, and that went south real quick because we didn't know what we were doing. And that third guy was not adding any positive things. And then me and Frank ended up going in slow with just me and him. And as we were playing and as we were, learning what was happening and all the new twists and turns with the game, I think I started to like it overall. However, my greatest take is, well, what is the longevity of this game going forward? Which, if you played the Siege games, which is opposing teams fighting each other, simple matchmaking, we've been doing that for years. This is very much a co-op game between 3 of operators from that other game that go in and try to achieve really 3 objectives before trying to get the hell out of there. And those objectives can range from kill the elite target to rescue a buddy. What I do like, and what I was scared about, was that your character actually, if you die in the game, you die for real. No, I'm just kidding. Your character goes MIA. You cannot play that character until you save them in the game. Which is kind of an interesting concept. If you play a level and once you're done with a level, the character that you are playing is actually hurt because you probably have taken damage during that. They are not allowed to be played for a while until their health.
So keep in mind that's only if you've actually taken enough damage.
If you haven't taken enough damage,
if you're under 50%, I believe
under 50,
you will be injured
because you can heal up to 50 after the game and go into the game with 50, which is weird. So there's elements I was getting used to that I wasn't a fan of at the beginning, but once that me and Frank started playing and understanding the techniques and like how to go in stealth and stuff like that, I ended up having like a pretty solid time with him. I haven't gone back and I haven't even tried the second series of levels because there's like 4 chapters, I think, but there's 3 levels.
Yeah, with like 3 levels in each of them.
Yeah, so me and Frank really tackled like 2 maps really. And from that experience, I was having fun. I really want to play with a third person and really see how that dynamic goes. But going forward, yeah, I'm curious though, what is the plan for me to continue playing this, even for the short while that I have Game Pass?
Awesome. Now that sounds like one complicated into like a lot of fun because it kind of reminds me a lot of some games that I've played previously, especially with like more turn-based games where you have to like rest some of the people that are on your team.
Yeah,
I know we'll be talking about a little bit later on, but things like XCOM you have to like really pay attention to because if your team member gets like smacked attacked by a bunch of aliens, you have to like let them rest, or they go back and either they go in and they're just like freaking out because their mental stability is gone, or they're physically hurt and so they have like limited movement, or they might not actually do what you're specifically telling them to. So it's one of those things you need to make sure that you're kind of balancing, so that's kind of really cool. And Frank, you said you had a different opinion than most people. What is your different opinion?
Yeah, so I've been playing Siege for well over 7 years now, since like the beta. Right. I love it. I love its attack defense gameplay. I love the way the operators work. I mean, I might not love them in recent years, but that's the gameplay I go back for. I like to play that game because it feels like you're kind of outsmarting other people. You have to really kind of think critically and know the map and know how people are going to like move through a corridor in order to kind of play it correctly. So when a few years back, actually, there was this Siege likes to do these game modes, right? These limited time events where they'll do something radically different, whether it'll be like a 2 or 3v3 Wild West only weapons type game mode or something like that. Well, they did one called Outbreak a while back, and Outbreak is very similar to how Extraction is, which is basically how Extraction came to be. People really like the Outbreak mode of that, and they kind of started to elaborate more, adding more enemies and stuff like that, and more gameplay elements. And I didn't really look at much of media for Extraction because on paper, Extraction has nothing of what I want out of a Rainbow Six game. I want tactical gameplay. I want to have another either AI or players that I could actually kind of outsmart and kind of work tactically around. I'm very much a purist in that sense when it comes to like Tom Clancy stuff and like Rainbow Six. I don't really like the future stuff. I really more like the gritty kind of boots on the ground type gameplay out of those games. So Extraction never really hit my radar. And I never really understood what was the point of having these operators and having, barricades and having, that kind of Rainbow Six Siege gameplay in a game where it's AI and essentially molded from Resident Evil, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't until me and Mario actually sat down and played the game, and I would play it as if it was like a Call of Duty kind of like horde mode kind of game, where you would just kind of go through the map, you would do the objective, and you would leave. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until we started playing it and dying over and over again, given I wasn't telling Mario this, but I was also upping the difficulty level. I started to kind of understand what they were going for. So there is objectives in the game that you have to do, which does require you to look around the map and going, okay, that's an open point that people will come through. That's a door that could be closed. That's a wall that could be reinforced, making it easier for your characters to kind of go through this kind of horde gameplay, because these monsters do horde you like the AI or a player would do in a situation where you're barricaded in a room. They will find ways to get around your barricades, and they will find ways to hit you. It's up to you as a player to kind of look around the area and figure out how to better make that your better defense on it, right? This is more of a defense game than Siege is. There is defense and there is attackers in Siege. Mostly the operators that are being used in this game are mostly the defense operators, obviously, because really you're not attacking too much, mm-hmm. or you're not supposed to be attacking too much. But I found it to be a lot of fun. People are really hating on this game because I really do feel like just in the way people are talking about it, they don't seem to understand the point, which is like, it took, and again, I will admit, it took me and Mario a good little bit to figure out what was the point of most of the gameplay elements of this game. And it's not really meant to be some kind of 100% like best narrative game of the year type game. This is really kind of just, I like to look at it kind of like almost a mini expansion of a game, right? Where it's not meant to be some big like story that Tom Clancy wrote or something like that. It's really kind of just, hey, there's an outbreak and the Rainbow Six team is working to fix this outbreak stuff, right? Has more of that story element than Siege did, I'll tell you that. And it's just, as long as you just play it the way it's meant to be played, which is you go in with some friends, you play tactically, you get your objectives done, you upgrade your systems, and you kind of move on. There's really not much else you really need to have fun with playing this game. And after I turned off my brain and was like, okay, this is not Siege. This is not tactical. Like, it has to be like crazy. Like, you have to be on the ball like Siege. I started to have a lot of fun with it. And, shooting the enemies was getting fun, looking around the map with Mario and be like, okay, we're shooting things, but they know we're here, so we have to kind of pull back a little bit, go to a different spot, and see if we can get a better vantage point. Stuff like that was just a lot of fun to do with your friends. It's a good PvE game, and that's all I can kind of want from something like a mode like this. Which is why when people are like, "Well, this is not like the best game in the world," it doesn't have to be. It's just fun to play with your friends. It's just a fun little $40 game, free in most platforms now to screw around with.
The thing that's benefiting this game, I'll say greatly, is that it's actually not a full price title. It's not $70. It's not $60. It's actually $39 if you want to buy it. Or if you have, and we're not shills because we don't get paid for this, Game Pass, it's accessible everywhere. I think it was such a smart move to put it on, especially for a January game, to really just sort of like have your time with it before February happens. Because when February happens, it's going to be a whole different ballpark. So such a smart thing to do. Part of my game.
Yeah, and just what, like, you know, and even in the smallest sense of like adding some lore to these characters, they've added more voice acting, they've added more kind of charm, they've added, you know, better character models to the game. Like, it isn't like just some kind of like, we're just gonna take everything from Siege and just port it over to Extraction and just move on from there. There is some like noticeable changes between both of the games in the way the operators work and the way the story is presented and the way, like, you know, the characters even look and feel, and when they shoot their guns and everything like that, to their actual abilities in the game. So it's not just like, you know, just a copy and paste, which was actually kind of surprising, because I like to think Ubisoft games are all just copy and pasted games on one another. But yeah, no, I'm actually having a lot of fun. I would like to get more people to play the game.
Yeah.
I would like to see, because I doubt it's just the same 3 objectives. I think there's definitely more objectives in the game to do, at least in the tutorial level, which, by the way, stop forcing people to play tutorials. I hate when video games do that, when they're like, you can't play the game until you play the tutorial. Just like, let me learn by actually playing the game, please. Thank you. But no, it like, there's more objectives there that we haven't even seen yet, and like, you know, the first 5 hours we played Mario.
Yeah, so we only played New York, so there's other.
Yeah, we only played New York.
Big zones too that I assume will have more challenges, more things to do, and more monsters. Because it was funny, we were playing, the monsters kept changing every now and then. We're like, what the hell's that? I did not see that the last time.
We encountered a monster where we were just like, up to then we're like, shoot it in the fucking face, it's fine, don't worry about it, it'll be good. Then it just like, Mario shot it in the face, he just turned around and just blew us both up, and it was like, okay, well, don't shoot that one in the face ever again.
Yeah. The one thing I want to bring up, Frank, and you tell me, this is when I was like, the moment the game got spicy and fun, is that the game doesn't force you to do all 3 objectives. It asks you to do one and you can leave, but if you want to get a little bit more spicier, go for that second objective. You got the second objective, but what if you go for that third one? And there's a moment when Frank did that.
There's a greed mechanic. There's 3 sections to each level, and let's say hypothetically Mario bites it in the first one. I could extract Mario out, like I can bring his character with me, put him into like an incubation chamber or something like that, and then he can get out. But I'm solo for the rest of the lobby. Like there's still 2 extra missions there. So that actually happened with us, where Mario died in the second one, and we got to the third one, and I got him back, but the objective was something that we haven't been able to do even together, right? And I was curious. I was like, it was right next to the extraction. I'm like, if things go south, I could just extract. And there's a greed element to it, and I really love games when there's a greed element to it, because it makes you think as a player. It's just like, I don't know. I know I probably shouldn't do this. I probably shouldn't risk it because it means losing everything. But God damn it, I'm going to try anyway. And the mechanic's cool. I like it. I hope it's a lot more necessary in later levels, because in the first few levels, it's not really all that necessary. You progress pretty well, even just by leaving in your first extractions. But I imagine later, with later levels, 5,000 XP is a lot better than 2,000 XP when you're trying to rank up a character that needs 10,000 XP, right? So
yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I love Extraction. I think it's pretty good so far. I'm only 5 hours in. I would like to play with more people. Harv, this is my invitation to you. I know you've heard bad things about Siege or
I haven't heard bad things. The person that I usually look at reviews and stuff like that hasn't said the most glowing things about it. I'm willing to give it a try.
And I will tell you right now,
that game is
on camera, it's generic. It's not doing anything brand new. But you know what?
It's still fun. Is, like, I didn't expect it to do anything brand new. It's a Ubisoft game. They never do anything brand new. But like I'm willing to give this a try, honestly. Like, especially it's on Game Pass. Why not, right? So
it's free. You know what I mean?
No, it's also on another platform, and you can play it for
that's
free
right.
for 2 hours.
I don't have a subscription. It's free on Stadia. Is free for how many
hours?
Is it free
on Stadia? I thought it was just added to Stadia.
It's added to Stadia, but they have opened it up for a 2-hour demo. So that's what I'm gonna do after the podcast.
Wait, is that if you have to have a subscription though, right, to Stadia? No, you don't. Oh, interesting.
I'll play it right now during the stream.
No, that's a bad idea. No, I don't believe that usually when it comes to like the 2-hour demo stuff, they usually open it up to everyone. So I will definitely check that out in a moment here. But before we continue on to what groups of people have done, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and I'm gonna ask Sly, what have you been up this week?
Well, as I put in the doc, I am back on my bullshit. So I don't remember if I mentioned this last week, but I've been like unable to watch anything. Like I can't sit down and watch anything right now, and so like I've been barely able to like keep up with 911 Lone Star, and we all know how much I talk about 911. So like
it's true.
Speaking of 911,
did you?
Random tangent. While we're here, one of my I don't follow like actors on social media generally. Like that's not a thing I'm a fan of. Especially if they're in something that I'm enjoying at the moment.
You don't have Sebastian Stan?
But I do follow Sebastian Stan, just to see all of his new stuff, what he's working on, whatever. But it's not a common practice. But I will say, Rafael Silva, who's on 911 Lone Star, his Instagram is one of the best follows I've ever did. His stories, he's really conscious about like keeping up with world events and highlighting resources, and like his Instagram, it's at actually Rafa, one of the best follows. I wanted to shout that out. But what I've been doing this week is I'm rereading Northanger Abbey again. I'm a huge Austen fan. I'm sure I've mentioned that countless times. And Northanger Abbey is probably my favorite book of hers. It's the first one I read after Pride and Prejudice, and it's just so funny. Like, it's just such a good time. It's just like lighthearted and humorous, and like, yes, that's a theme in a lot of Austen novels, but this one is just like, you can tell it was written when she was younger, and it's just light and there. So yeah, I've been rereading Northanger Abbey.
Nice. And for people who aren't aware of what Northanger Abbey is, can you give like a minute kind of like synopsis of what it is?
Oh god, it's a Jane Austen novel. It's one of her first. It was published post-mortem. So it was written in like the late 1700s.
Okay.
It's very much a period piece. It's about Catherine Morland, and it's very much, you know, all the usual commentaries that come in with Austen and talking about gender and economics of dating and all of that good stuff. If you like any Austen, you'll like Northanger Abbey.
Awesome. Honestly, I haven't heard about it.
I thought it was a sequel to Downton Abbey, like Downton Abbey's uptown cousin. You know what I mean? Like Northanger downtown. You know what I mean? Like I was like, okay.
The Downton fucking cinematic universe.
Honestly, I'm gonna be very real.
The Abbey cinematic universe.
Frank, I thought literally the same thing. Not ironically. I literally thought that it was like some sort of like, I don't know, maybe like some like Downton Abbey fanfic, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna roll with it. Like I saw them.
The hotel across the street. Northanger Abbey.
Like,
I've never been Downton Abbey before, so if anybody is listening to this podcast and be like, "Why the fuck would you think that?" I've never seen it, so I don't even.
Harv and Sly are huge fans, but
great.
My mom loves that show.
The movie.
So,
that says anything about people watching it.
Big Charlie Cox renaissance going on right now.
Yes.
And I'm convinced this is how I start to get everybody to watch Downton Abbey. Because if you don't know, Charlie Cox was in the first episode of Downton Abbey. It's great. His character is mentioned way more than he's on screen.
Is his name Matt Murdock in that show?
Of the first season, his name's not Matt Murdock, but if you like Charlie Cox and are going through all his things, don't skip Downton Abbey.
Sly, I might watch it just because I know Dan Stevens came from that show, and so he's my.
He's so good. He's amazing. He's phenomenal in that. If
I ever get married, he's my one I could cheat with.
He makes that show.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Dan Stevens is great.
I will forever think that every single issue in that entire show could be solved by throwing everyone out the window, and I will hold and stand with that.
Sly, can I ask you a question?
Issues like war?
Yes.
No, I mean like
with the war?
in Downton Abbey. No, more in the lines of like, I'm upset with this maid. Let me throw her out the window. Oh, this woman is sneaking around and taking people's shit. Let's throw her out the window.
The top floor window.
Guys, what about Pangea?
Sly, I have a question for you. As someone who watches many things, tries to experience as many things, I don't think I've ever seen a Jane Austen anything. Is there
like not a single adaptation?
Nothing.
That's surprising.
Unless it was an adaptation that I'm not aware of. You know what I'm saying? Like Midsummer, like 10 Things I Hate About You is a Shakespeare thing.
Like Clueless.
Oh shit, I've seen Clueless.
Okay. Lizzie Bennet Diaries is another obvious one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's like loosely inspired.
Is there any actual like good adaptations?
Pride and the Prejudice, like
all of the adaptations are great. I will say, just so you know, there is a very big debate about whether the 1995 miniseries or the 2005 movie is the better adaptation of Pride and Prejudice.
Got it.
Hot take. They're both great, and they both have very different places in my heart. Sometimes I want to watch the lake scene, and sometimes I want to watch the hand flex. If you know, you know, but they're both great. Stop saying one's better than the other.
Hashtag team hand flex.
Hashtag the movie. So I'm just going to keep
What the hell? Oh my god.
It's a fight. It's a fight.
I don't know what either of these are.
No, the hand flex is in the
there's
movie.
one guy who does like a
got it.
Like that in our favorite show, and that's a hand flex if I've ever seen one.
The lake scene, bar none, probably one of the most magnificent scenes in cinematography ever. I'm not going to go in either way. Watch it.
All right.
Watch the movie. It has Keira Knightley in it.
That's what I was wondering. Okay.
It has Keira Knightley in it. Absolutely fantastic.
Watch Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Watch Pride and Prejudice first, and then the zombies.
Yes. But disclaimer, halfway through the movie, it takes a dramatic turn from the book.
Okay.
I was in the theater watching it with my best friend Chubby, and we lost our minds because we didn't know what was happening because it completely derailed from the book. Both are great. Love the book, love the movie. Go watch the movie. It's great.
Sure.
Lily James. It's beautiful.
Oh, Lily James.
All the makeup, amazing. I think it's Lily James.
I'll look it up later. Even so, I mean, I love the idea because my favorite concept is when you're watching a thing that has a established canon and then you sprinkle something new in there and now it's totally different. And I think that's cool. Same, so I think that's awesome.
Oh, you're gonna hate what I have to say later then.
Oh no.
Yeah. Lily James is Lizzie Bennet in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yeah.
Very good film. Watch it.
Cool.
It's great.
You know who we haven't heard from well, guys? I think we need to hear from Harv. What has Harv been up to this week?
What I have been? Oh yeah, just I played some Fortnite with some friends over the weekend. Over the week. Sorry, on Wednesday, and then I'm almost done Buffy again. I am about a little bit over halfway done the last season. I'm about to hit the Caleb reveal, which I'm really excited about.
Very nice.
Who is Nathan Fillion? I love Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion's great.
Nathan Fillion's the fucking best.
Yeah, he's the villain of the last season. It's so good.
It's so good. So good.
Man.
Other than that, that's really about it. I'm starting near this next coming week. I have it ready to go on my computer, so I'll be doing that on Wednesday next week. I'm really, really excited. to jump into some Nier.
I'm so excited to make Nier TikToks.
Man, do you know what's funny? I also recently downloaded Nier, so at some point I'm probably gonna hop into it.
What's
Oh my god!
happening?
Are you gonna watch Harv's playthrough? Or are you gonna like keep yourself unspoiled for your experience?
Unsullied.
Oh, I'm not gonna watch Harv play. I'm
Okay. That's
watch
interesting.
it.
Yeah, it's the way to go. You can't watch if you're gonna play the game. You can't watch. But why does our doc look like something like the burn notice or some shit?
It looks
like
like something out of a fucking CIA black book.
I think this is a great idea for people that don't know. Feed, I think, is crossing them out as we go.
I am crossing them out because
So
here's
smart.
the thing. I know for a fact that if I highlighted it, even though that's the normal thing to do, people would be like, why are you highlighting it? Did we not talk about it enough? And for that reason, because I know all of you sitting here, I've been like completely just highlighting them black.
I appreciate it.
Our eyes of the block now looks like a JFK assassination file.
I was caught off guard, and I was like, am I supposed to read whatever's here? Like, what's going on here?
No, you are not
Back
supposed
to
to
the
read
left.
with them. It's just a matter of blocking it off so we know what we've already talked about, so then we can continue because we need to be
I appreciate it.
organized. You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully Mario
also
doesn't
appreciate
die.
But yeah, I'm excited for Nier. I cannot wait for this game.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be starting it next week.
Awesome. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give Mario a little bit of a break. I was gonna hop over to the other, but I'm gonna ask Frank, what else have you been up to this week?
I played Rainbow Six. I've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six again. I haven't really got it. Like, I know I said earlier that I've been playing this game for like 7 years. I usually come back in every season just to kind of see what kind of changes they're doing. Some seasons have been better than others. But now that we've finished Final Fantasy, and there's, other than like just trying to find busy work in the game and raiding, there's not really much to do right now. So I've just been kind of playing other games, whether it be Rainbow Six Zomboid or like the other 12 different games that I keep trying to play. But I've been stuck on Rainbow Six for a little bit. It's been pretty fun. People have already started to remember the name Lumara Strom-Win in the game. I've had a few times where I would join a lobby and then somebody would be like, hey, it's you. And I'd be like, yo, what's up? You know, it's me, Floyd Hennessy back in the day, but I just had to change my name. And, you know,
my friend's Final Fantasy character because everyone was making weird things about my name. So
yeah, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun. People for some reason, people actually know how to say this name really well. They say it pretty good. So I know I've been having a lot of fun with that. But we've been me and Mario. I don't know if anybody else has been following what's been going on Disney, but Book of Boba Fett. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have been watching that actually.
It looks amazing. I can't wait to have the motivation / time to sit down to watch it.
Yeah, we could either talk about it right now or we could save it for a little bit here.
I mean, you can talk about it right now. That's a good segue.
Boom.
I so far, at least for me, and this is the part where Mario might not like it because I know he's probably in love with this concept and I fucking hate it. Which is I love the show. I love the tone it's pushing. I like the way it's structured in terms of just like the way they're doing Boba Fett's story. I don't want to spoil too much for the people who haven't seen it. I know there's a lot of people out there right now who are like, I don't feel like waiting for the weekly episode format and stuff like that. For those people, hey, good for you. I'm not going to spoil anything too. Like, if anything, I will spoil one thing, and that is the last week episode, not this week, right? Episode 4 was last week, if I'm correct. Episode 4 introduced new characters, or it was either episode 3 or 4. I don't remember. One or the other. Introduced some new characters.
It was the latest episode, apparently.
Yeah, and
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the bikes, right?
The cyberpunk space bikers, space greasers, I like to call them, or the glam punk space greasers, I like to also call them.
They're the 60s mod British people with bikes. Yes.
Usually I'd be pretty cool with cyberpunk being in anything, right? Anything like of that cyberpunk aesthetic of like Cyberpunk 2077. But it's so out of place in this episode and so out of place in this universe that it's just like everything just looks like it came out of a fucking Cuisinart commercial, and all the characters are just about as one-sided and blandly written as like most NPC characters of Cyberpunk 2077. It's just, I don't know. I think that was honestly the weakest choice they could have made for the whole season, because they're characters that will be sticking around for a little bit. And it's just like, I don't give a shit about these characters. Give me more of the characters we care about, which is Boba Fett and his I can never remember her name.
Fennec.
Yeah. Give me Boba Fett and Fennec. I don't give a shit about these space bikers. I don't give a shit about how you're trying to bring space greasers into the Star Wars universe. They just look so out of place. You can tell it was probably like an idea from some like random intern in the writing room, just like, why don't we add space bikers? Sure, why not?
It's not how that works, but okay, Frank.
It's just so out of left field and so out of, in a way, very out of touch, that I'm just like, this is the dumb decisions that Star Wars tends to make that nobody likes, but then somebody in the room will be like, well, you'll learn to like it. And it's like, no, just get rid of it. It's not cool.
Here's how I'll semi defend it, even though
I knew you were.
But I'm not in love with it like you think I am. I'll defend it because it's very much in line with what Star Wars was when it first came out, as in it was a movie developed in the 70s, and this was a movement of people that existed around that time, which was like a British mod like sort of thing. Like their big thing was their bikes were like all kitted out. If you ever see photos of them, it's very similar to what's in the show, and they were very colorful as they are in the show. I think in terms of them trying to fit that aesthetic in, like even like the main one has like 80s style, 70s style haircut, and that's why I feel like that's where that's leaning towards. Granted, it does appear odd in a modern Star Wars thing, but I think that if this existed already in the universe, then yeah, we probably would accept it. But since it's so fresh and new, I'm just gonna give it time to develop. But otherwise, yeah, I understand. Like the first thing you see is colors, and you're like, "That's not Star Wars."
Everything looks like if you ever walked into a Macy's or a J.C. Penney and looked at the Cuisinart section, everything is just like candy apple this, candy apple that, candy apple. It's so out of, and behind them is literally like a dingy, dirty, sandy. Like it makes no sense to me why this would be put in here. Like if this was done in like a cityscape or something like that, I would probably be less like apprehensive to it, but it's just like it's so clean, so like so obviously trying to hit a mark of something that to me isn't very Star Wars like.
Much like
it's like more trying to hit the cyberpunky like people who like cyberpunk, because if you took a character, like one of the characters just looks like female Johnny Silverhand. Literally, like right out the book, leather jacket, leather pants, short hair. Like she literally looks like female Johnny Silverhand, and it's like, okay, this is the best we got for Book of Boba Fett.
Again, I'll reiterate. I think it's very much contemporary of which Star Wars existed, which was a time before, right? So this is,
I guess,
and this, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, right? So it all exists in this fantasy timeline where like it works for me, even if it is bright and something I'm not used to. Because juxtapose what you're saying then and compare it to the last episode, which we're not obviously going through spoilers, but there's a lot of dingy oldness to something that was new when it first came out. And that's all I'll say. But otherwise, the Boba Fett story overall, I am enjoying in the way that they're telling it. It's a very slow Western kind of piece. I will say they put a lot of emphasis on one end versus the other, and I feel like one of the sides is falling flat or falling shorter because of it. Because I think the way that they're telling the story, which it's told flash and forward, like that's the basis of it. But ultimately, I am excited to see how it concludes, specifically given the stuff that we were given in the last week, which I think is the best episode of Star Wars that we've gotten ever, in terms of what they showed.
I'm halfway through that episode, and I think it's honestly some of the best we've gotten so far.
And this is all I'm saying this, and we got Luke Skywalker at the end of the last season,
Mandalorian. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying in terms of what they do in this episode. It's an acid trip. You don't, wild.
And I understand the idea of like Star Wars using other like pulling influences from different kind of cultures through like either Japanese cultures. And I understand that argument. It's just this is one of those Disney things to me, which is so like they're desperately trying to hit a mark to a target audience by adding something that is obviously marketed towards a target audience, because the current target audience might not know who Boba Fett is. or the target audience might not know, like, have any kind of relationships with this character. So they're trying to create that. They're trying to basically like force a creation of like, oh, I really like gravitate towards this character because they're kind of like me, they're rebellious and young, and it's like I hate when Disney does that, and it's very obvious when they do that because you can see it throughout every single one of their shows when they do it. Just let the character like just have good writing for your main characters, and people will gravitate towards it. You don't have to create 50 other characters for everybody to gravitate towards. And that's my only problem with Book of Boba Fett so far. Other than that, everything up to that point, I love it. I love everything that they're doing with the character. They're making a character even I was notoriously talking shit about because I don't get the point of Boba Fett other than comics, other than books. He's really kind of a one-sided character that everybody gravitated onto because he had cool armor. Now he's a way more like there's way more levels to the character, and way more layers now, way more complexity that I can definitely say that if somebody came up to me and said I'm a fan of Boba Fett, I can see why now. 100%.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. I definitely am planning on checking that out at some point. I'm probably gonna wait until it's over so I can just kind of binge it because that's the type of personality that I am.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was almost gonna do the same thing until everybody spoiled the last episode on Twitter.
Oh, I don't pay attention to people's spoilers. I
literally like 5 fucking people spoiled it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Mine does not count. My thing does not count.
Somebody put a straight up GIF of like the first 5 seconds of the episode, and I'm just like, you're a dick.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on there. So yeah, I'm probably gonna
spoilers. Like nobody believed me when I tweeted a spoiler from No Way Home because it was so random.
Yeah, I mean, valid. I mean, I've been trying to avoid like retweeting anything from Attack on Titan because I'm finished and I know what's happened, and I'm like, I really want to share this, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody. And it's the same thing for Final Fantasy 14. I'm like, this is a really beautiful piece of art because I follow a lot of artists on Twitter, and I'm like, I can't retweet this because if I do, that's just spoiling it for people. So I've been avoiding both right now, so I just keep on liking it. So please don't check my likes. It's a lot of just like Attack on Titan stuff, and especially for the people who are on this podcast, who've been watching it with me recently. Yeah, Mario.
Yes.
What else have you been watching this week?
Other than Book of Boba Fett, and I did watch Till Dusk Till Dawn, which I did because, and funny enough, Frank is sort of the reason why I am watching it, because I was going to show Fee. He spoiled it for Fee. But instead, there's a podcast out there called HBO Mac, which is our friend McKenna, friend of the show, and they don't watch any movies. And so I was like, I'll be on the show. Let's watch Till Dusk Till Dawn, and then don't research it whatsoever. And then they did that. So that was fun. Nice. But the real thing that the last thing I have been watching is I watched the first 3 episodes of How I Met Your Father.
I hate you.
Which apparently is not available in Canada, and that's why Fee hates me.
Rip Canada.
So if you ever want to watch it somehow, we'll figure that out. That sounded weird when I did that. The show follows in the same format as the original, which of course was How I Met Your Mother, with Neil Patrick Harris and the group over there, and very much has nothing to do with those characters. Those characters are not involved as far as I know. But of course it follows a woman who is played by Samantha from Sex and the City. This is why she's not on Sex and the City, apparently. And she does something else, I think, other some other show. Telling her son via phone call in the future how she met her father. And she said that I'm drunk enough, I'm going to tell you all the sexy bits. So she's basically going to tell the story. I mean, it's Samantha. You get what you get. She then tells, obviously, the story of which she met her father, which is all the new cast, which is all the new kids. Main character played by Hilary Duff, who, shout out to her, she does an excellent job in the show in terms of, has not missed a beat since Lizzie McGuire. And
she's one of the rare Disney kids that didn't end up being like super crazy and coked out or like number of other different things.
And now seemingly still has a career.
A great article. One of the journalists that I follow, Max Gow, did an interview with her about this. I think within the last week. Yeah. Go check it out. It was really good.
Yeah.
Really, really well done interview.
talked about the failed reboot, which was supposed to be at Disney Plus. Which, yeah, I wish that happened, but I'm glad, you know, this is fine. We have this now. They actually were going to make this show a lot earlier on, starring Greta Gerwig, if I'm not mistaken. It was a female director, actress, and the disc didn't go through, which is crazy. I saw still shots of the film. So they shot it, like, but they just didn't release it. So they did it again. They have it with Hilary Duff. They have some other recurring people that I've never seen before, except for one guy who's going to be, to me, clearly the father, or at least the one they're teasing the entire time. He was on Glow, which I love that show, which is Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. The show's cute. I mean, it is your standard, like, I'm going to tell a joke and the laugh track's going to happen, you know, and I think that How I Met Your Father was stronger, but I'm not How I Met Your Mother was stronger. But to be fair, I don't remember how it really started. And so if I go back and watch those original episodes, are they as funny as, you know, I remember them? So, yes.
The very first episode, oh my gosh, I don't even remember the names. Ted goes out to a bar, meets up with Barney. Then the couple, who's played by Jason Segel, are currently on the kitchen floor because then he proposes to her. It's a whole thing. There's a blue French horn. It's a thing.
Do they all meet in that episode?
They all meet in that episode.
So they do the same.
The only person they meet for the first time that episode is Robin, because Robin
she's
is
not part of the
yes, that's right.
And so he sees Robin across the room and is just like, and that's how I met your mother. But then obviously wasn't.
Yes.
Shocker.
So
9 seasons. I hope that kid doesn't have to listen to his mom on the phone for 9 seasons.
Well,
good luck to him.
About to find out.
It's a long phone call.
The thing about How I Met Your Mother was like the cast was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
With Jason Segel and Allison Hannigan, you got the guy that plays Ted. I forgot what his name was.
Josh Schroll or something.
Yeah.
I made that Josh something. Rattle?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then you have Neil Patrick Harris. Like, that's just the all-star. And then Colby Smollers as well, right? Like, it is a all-star cast, I feel.
Yes.
When it comes to a TV show.
This one has some good, like, I'm a huge fan of Hilary Duff, like, great, like, actress. Like, Josh Peck is great. Like, there's a lot of great characters there, and I want to watch it. Obviously, Hulu, for the love of Christ, find a way to release it in Canada, because this is ridiculous. But no, I'm interested, but I'm a little bit hesitant, because How I Met Your Mother at the time was like really special, because there were so many like things that happened in the show, and they really like thought everything from the first episode to we're not talking about the second last episode, because the final episode is stupid. I'm still bitter about that. Oh my god.
And
it's really hard to end a sitcom, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a sitcom.
There's better ways to do
long.
it than what happened. What they did in that fucking episode.
I can't think of a sitcom that has ended that has a good ending to it, other than maybe Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but I know even some people have a problem with that.
Friends had a good
Seinfeld?
Man, Seinfeld now has a good ending. Like, a lot of people like it now. They didn't like it when it first came out.
Yeah.
This is a good segue to talk about the fact that I still haven't finished Golden Girls. I'm on the last episode. I stopped because I don't want it to end.
What are you cool? Are you cool, Greg? Do you know the story about Cool Greg? He doesn't want to read the last. So Cool Greg, brother of Tim Geddes, does not want to read the last book of Harry Potter because he doesn't want the story to end. But he's seen the movies.
I've seen people. Wait, if he's watched, did he watch?
Yeah, he's seen the movies. He's seen the movies, but he doesn't want to finish the book because he doesn't want that story.
A little bit different, though.
No, I mean, it's very similar.
There's differences,
but not enough to be like, man, these are two completely different things.
Oh, okay.
No,
I can get it in a journey sense, but yeah, for sure.
No, I don't know. I stopped watching Golden Girls and I decided to watch true crime YouTube videos for a good solid week. It's been kind of crazy.
Let me give a synopsis of the last episode of Golden Girls. So
fuck you, Harv. I'm not going to listen to you.
Rose dies of a heart attack.
Y'all get their AARP checks.
That's not even funny, because that's what happens the second last episode. She has to get a triple bypass.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the AARP check.
Wow.
I thought they all get their retirement checks and buy their own homes.
And they just leave.
That's not how it goes. Oh my god, you obviously haven't watched it. Anyway, so yes, I've been watching true crime. I've been watching especially Bailey Sarian, like I have talked about at length previously. I also been watching Bosie versus the World. She is fantastic when it comes to talking about true crime. Would highly recommend it. I couldn't sleep last night because this girl decided, well, her editors, I'm going to blame her editors for doing this, is they were talking about the unfortunate murder of Corey Edge. If you don't know about that murder, it was very depressing, and would highly recommend watching her video about it. But the problem was, I don't know if you guys know that I played Danganronpa at one point, and the sound of the murders, when you see the dead bodies, there's like this like, and then like this like kind of like mesh between screams and like complete despair. They decided to play that music over top of showing the dead body, or at least the edited version. And your girl was watching this at 2:30 in the morning, so I locked and barricaded my front door, and I slept with a light on because just trauma.
Emotional damage.
I just didn't. And then they decided at the very end of the episode to bring frickin' Monokuma, and I'm like, I'm out. I like the videos.
Dude. I like this. It
was great. By the way, would highly recommend it. I will send you the video after. It's really great.
One of these days, Fee, once you catch up on Danganronpa 2, let's play Danganronpa 3 because I still haven't played that one yet.
Okay. I will definitely make sure to do that. At some point, I have to talk to Brian and Ian. But no, the last thing was, last week I talked about a surprise thing. I worked on a video game. Lucas and I decided to make a game first in a game jam, and we made a video game and submitted it. It is a match game called Reef Mergence. It's all about reefs and coral and stuff like that. So we did that. We submitted it. Unfortunately, because it was our first time ever doing it, there was a bunch of bugs. And so I think we submitted it. There was about 92 people that submitted, and we got like 39th, which, like, honestly, for the first game, actually, I'm not angry. I'm not angry.
Good odds.
Yeah.
Good odds.
So we're going to probably go back and just fix the bugs and then release it online, and then go back and probably do it next month. So there is a game jam that goes every month that goes on. Just 1 second here while you find it.
So the ending
it's
of
called
Golden
Godot
Girls.
Wild Game Jam. So we did the first one of the year, which was number 41. So we did that, and it was a lot of fun. Very stressful, learned a lot, and we're probably going to go back and edit it a little bit. So definitely make sure to check that out.